Hello, today in Sanators we would like to speak about the restructuring procedure in a retail business, and I am with Rafał Fabisiak, and so we would like to tell you more about this procedure. So Rafał, what is the current situation in the retail business?
Currently, we are slowly recovering from the lockdown of the shopping malls. You may know or not, but since mid of March, most of the shops in shopping malls and the galleries and the retail parks were closed due to COVID-19 restrictions. Since the 4th of May, some of the shops were open to the customers, and in the second phase this week, also hairdressers and beauty concept also were allowed to be open for customers. Still, cinemas and fitness clubs are closed. And this lockdown, as you can imagine, over 6 weeks has caused for many of the retailers whose networks are basically developed over shopping malls mostly, serious problems.
So what is exactly this restructuring in the court?
The restructuring procedure is a special procedure regulated by a separate legal regulation called the Restructuring Law, which is in force in Poland since the 1st of January 2016. This law provides for 4 different types of restructuring procedures, and it is up to the debtor, to the company which is in troubles, to decide which of these paths it will take and pursue.
Okay, and what kind of procedure in this restructuring is using in retail chains in Poland? What kind of procedure from these 4 they use mostly?
I would say that there are 2 procedures which are most popular or are the potentially best solutions. One of them is the fast track restructuring procedure, the fast track arrangement procedure, and here the pros of this solution is that it is quite a simple procedure and it's relatively fast as far as time is concerned. For bigger networks and for bigger problems as well, most or more suitable will be the sanacja procedure. Sanacja in Polish means reparation.
Okay, but what is exactly means this sanacja? What kind of advantages is giving for a company?
In the sanacja procedure, the biggest benefit for a retailer who has troubles in his lease agreements or other long-term arrangements with his creditors or business partners is that such agreements can be terminated or withdrawn.
Okay, so if we know the advantages, tell us more about this sanacja. What kind of disadvantages is giving for a company?
Sanacja is first of all the most complicated procedure. This also means it is relatively the most costly process. And the second problem which is related to choosing sanacja is that the current management of the company usually is taken away from the management process, and instead of that, a manager imposed by the court is responsible for running the daily business of the company.
Okay, but who is this restructuring advisor?
A restructuring advisor is a person with a special license which can be obtained after passing a special exam, but it is not only an issue of passing this exam, but in order to be listed as an active restructuring advisor, you need to demonstrate a past experience in running companies or helping them in crisis situations.
Okay, but what he has to do in this sanacja?
The court, when the sanacja is announced, at the same time appoints a person who will replace or the managers of the company, and this person is then the manager of the sanacja process. And for being appointed, the requirement is that such a person needs to have a license of a restructuring advisor, because this gives you the security that such person knows what he or she is doing and has the right competences to guide you through the entire process.
Great. So right now we know what is this procedure, but how much it costs. It means the most important question. Tell us something about the cost. What kind of cost we have to settle in this procedure?
There are two types of costs when looking at them from the time perspective. There are pre-opening costs or pre-restructuring costs, and then the cost during the procedure. And in this first basket, you need to first of all take into account that a motion to the court is not free. You have to pay a court fee. The court fee amounts to 1,000 zloty, which is roughly 250 euros. And on top of that, you need to pay another fee to the court, which is an advance payment toward future costs of a restructuring procedure. And this fee is currently at the level of 5,200 zloty, which is around 1,400 euros. Besides these official costs, you need to take into account that most probably you will have to hire a person or a company who will prepare the motion to the court. And here it really depends on the size of the company and how many creditors it has, how the situation is, whether it's complicated or not. But in case of a sanacja motion, you need to take into account a cost of at least 10,000 euros to prepare such a motion to the court. Then we have the second basket of costs, which is related with the entire procedure after the sanacja or other restructuring process is announced and is declared. And here again, it is difficult to say or to list exactly the amount of fees that become outstanding, but in a sanacja process you need to take into account that the overall costs for the companies will be around 25,000 euros at least in the entire process.
Okay, so if we know the cost, what is the timeline? How long it will spend? The time of this sanacja.
Here again, you need to take into account two deadlines. First is the amount of time that you need to spend for preparing a motion. And the sanacja motion, like we mentioned earlier before, is the most complicated one. And you need to take into account between 4 and 8 weeks for preparation for the preparation of a good motion. After this motion is filed, you need to count another 1 to 2 months until the court declares and opens the sanacja procedure.
Okay, so thanks for this knowledge, and right now maybe you will tell us more something about yourself. What is your daily job? What do you do right now?
At Sanators, I'm the CEO. I'm running the company. We have 3 offices in Warsaw, in Rzeszów, and in Poznań. And we have 10 persons who are working within our company. We are mainly focused on restructuring and insolvency advisory services, meaning also preparing complicated motions to the court and representing then the companies in the entire procedure.
So, thanks for sharing us with this knowledge, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and you are welcome to see another hour video about the restructuring and bankruptcy.
Thank you very much.